Welcome back to Straight Facts by Dinar Investor.
Parliament adjourns until Monday, September 21, 2019. Baghdad. The House of Representatives voted in its fourth session of the first legislative term of the second legislative year of the fourth parliamentary session, which was held under the chairmanship of Mohammed Halbousi, Speaker of the House of Representatives, on Saturday, September 21, 2019, and the presence of 180 deputies, on 4 laws, and finished reading 2 laws and completed discuss the health insurance law proposal. A statement by the Council, received, Iraq News to the Power of, said that at the outset of the session, Halbousi noted the need to set a date to discuss the housing crisis and host the security side by the Security and Defense Committee to learn the reasons for the bombing of Karbala terrorist and other incidents. In addition to directing a joint meeting between the Finance, Economy and Investment Committees on the subject of domestic product support, the Council voted on the draft law on the accession of the Republic of Iraq to the Convention on Maternity Protection No. 183 of 2000, submitted by the Committees on Foreign Relations, Women, Family and Children, which aims to strengthen the legal protection of motherhood and the health and safety of children and to continue to promote equality for all working women and to join the Convention. It also voted on the draft law ratifying the Protocol of 2014 supplementing the Convention on Forced Labor No. 29 of 1930 and submitted by the Committee on Foreign Relations, which aims to ensure decent work for all and to eliminate forced labor in all its forms, and for the purpose of ratifying the protocol. The Council voted on the draft law ratifying the Convention on the exemption of holders of diplomatic passports and official service from the entry visa between the Government of the Republic of Iraq and the Government of the Republic of Serbia, submitted by the Foreign Relations Committee in order to strengthen bilateral relations between the Republic of Iraq and the Republic of Serbia and to facilitate the travel of citizens of the two countries who hold diplomatic passports and official service, and to ratify the Convention. In the same regard, the Council voted on the draft law on the accession of the Republic of Iraq to the UNESCO Convention on the Protection of the Underwater Cultural Heritage submitted by the Committee on Foreign Relations, Culture, Tourism and Antiquities in order to strengthen the protection of underwater cultural heritage and cooperation between states to achieve this and preserve it for the benefit of humanity. Heritage is of importance as an integral part of cultural heritage and a very important element in the history of peoples and nations and the history of relations among them regarding their common heritage and for the purpose of accession to the Convention. On the other hand, the President of the Council to form an investigative committee of the competent committees to investigate contracts concluded by the Ministry of Electricity from 2006 until now. During the session, which was chaired by Bashir al-Haddad, Deputy Speaker of the Council of Representatives, the first reading of the proposed amendment law for the second law to compensate those affected by military operations, military errors in terrorist operations No. 20 of 2009, submitted by the legal committees, Martyrs, Victims, Political Prisoners and Human Rights, submitted by the legal committees, Martyrs, Victims, Political Prisoners and Human Rights, in order to alleviate the suffering of citizens in liberated areas and areas damaged by terrorist operations and military mistakes in order to open more than one committee in each province. The number of central committees for the purpose of compensation has completed a number of transactions of the citizens, as well as the inclusion of the families of martyrs and injured members of the internal security forces and the armed forces and security services privileges stipulated in the law. The Council completed the first reading of the draft law of the First Amendment to the Law of Supporting the Internal Sections Fund at the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research No. 7 of 2012, submitted by the Higher Education and Scientific Research Committee, in order to enhance the financial resources of the fund for the support of internal sections. Higher Education and Scientific Research established under the Decree of the Revolutionary Command Council, dissolved, No. 216, of 2000, repealed. The Council completed the discussion of the health insurance law proposal submitted by the Health and Environment Committee. The interventions focused on the need to involve more than a parliamentary committee in the discussion of the law and the work of workshops in which the parties concerned and specialists in this area. For its part, the committee stressed the need to legislate the law as one of the important laws as it contributes to achieve some kind of community justice and to provide rewarding health services to citizens, demanding to give more opportunity to hold various meetings and discussions and the establishment of specialized workshops to mature the law before it is put to a vote. Meanwhile, Bashir al-Haddad directed the permanent parliamentary committees, which did not elect the president, to end this file this week. The Council discussed a number of important issues, including the issue of removing abuses in many governorates, in addition to allowing holders of certificates from employees of the Ministry of Interior to move to other civil ministries, as well as the reasons for not implementing the establishment of a hospital to treat cancer diseases from the Kuwaiti grant in Dhikar province. In addition to the demand to stop the demolition of the Artists Syndicate in Basra as an old and historical facility in the province, urging the municipal departments in the provinces of Karbala and Najaf wholly to prepare for the 40 visit through the rehabilitation of some of the damaged roads. Pointing to the need to respond to the demands of the demonstrators, veterinarians on bringing them to the medical gradually, similar to their colleagues in other medical specialties, as well as addressing the issue of changing the sex of land from agricultural to residential. On the other hand, Bashir al-Haddad directed the Finance and Agriculture Committees to follow up the issue of compensating the peasants with the Ministry of Finance and take the necessary action. In addition to meeting with the veterinarian demonstrators and listening to their demands and competencies needed by the labor market, it was then decided to adjourn the session until Monday, September 23, 2019. Fit in New York, that's why. September 21, 2019. Baghdad. President Barham Saleh arrived on Saturday to New York to participate in the meetings of the United Nations General Assembly. The 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly began at the headquarters of the organization in New York on September 17. The annual general debate will open on Tuesday, September 24. On this occasion, the heads of state and government and other eminent national representatives will meet to present their priorities and exchange views on the major global stakes. U.S. grants more than $6 million to displaced minorities in Iraq. September 21, 2019. Society. America. Minorities. Iraq. September 21, 2019. 14 hours, 58 minutes, and 48 seconds. The U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, Director Mark Green announced on Saturday a new financial assistance as part of efforts by the U.S. government, announced by Vice President Mike Pence, to support ethnic and religious minorities displaced by the genocide committed by the alleged Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. USAID has given $6.8 million to CRS, which works in partnership with the Chaldean Catholic Diocese in Erbil, to help vulnerable families meet their immediate family needs and reduce their return home when possible. A separate award under the USAID Memorandum of Understanding with the government of Poland will provide $528,500 for a multi-donor project to provide high-quality health care to communities affected by ISIS persecution. The beneficiaries will include displaced persons living in camps and locations outside camps in northern Iraq, as well as individuals deprived of host communities. The activity will be funded by 2 fixed clinics and 1 mobile medical team. This new assistance is part of the U.S. government's commitment to help oppressed minorities and preserve Iraq's heritage of religious and ethnic pluralism. USAID works with elected officials, community leaders, local and faith-based NGOs, and the private sector to help the religious and ethnic minorities targeted by ISIS to improve their living conditions, expand their economic opportunities, and encourage their democratic participation. The U.S. government's assistance to support the oppressed ethnic and religious minorities in northern Iraq is about $380 million. This assistance includes crucial funding through the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, initiative to restore genocide and response to persecution, complementing H.R. 390, the 2018 Iraq-Syria Genocide Relief and Matter Act. Passed bipartisan support in the U.S. Congress, and President Donald Trump signed a law on December 11,